And welcome back, everybody, to episode 400. This is part two, so we won't do the standard intro. We're just going to get into nibble bits. So, the biggest thing, at least for me, and I don't know how much of this you watched or know about, Corey, was the Google Stadia announcement. So we have had experience with this. We both did Project Stream briefly on the PC, playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which was cool. I have a couple different experiences with it, and I know you played a fair amount, right? A couple hours
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, I played the full 6 because I wanted the free game.
Okay, yeah, I didn't end up getting it. I didn't have enough time in, which was unfortunate. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey is on sale for I think it's $23 on Steam, and I'm really tempted.
Score.
So,
Play mine. Well, you could
yeah.
you could log into my Epic account,
Is yours on Epic or you play?
or I'm sorry, yeah, you play.
Oh, gotcha. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that first. I watched the entire Game Developers Conference presentation. It's going in our stream right now on twitch.tv/Thumbstick Athletes if you're ever interested in catching us live. We're usually live Thursday nights, though I think that might change, possibly to Wednesday night. Will is started a new job, and he's working different nights now, so it might be Wednesday night instead of Thursday night. But I'll keep everyone posted. So yeah, the Stadia is their streaming thing is what the platform is called. It's going to launch later this year. Not a lot of details on it yet. The biggest questions I had for the whole thing were not answered, so we'll talk about that. So it makes use of streaming technology to make high quality video games playable on a variety of devices, which I thought was interesting. Primarily a Chrome browser, but also you can do phones. They specifically mentioned the Pixel phones. I don't know if that's just right off the bat or if that's going to change. And then Chromecast, which I was baffled by. Like you can play video games on a Chromecast with Stadia, which I think is awesome because you can get a Chromecast for like $30. So
Yeah.
boom, you're gaming on your TV. It's not quite that simple. We'll get into it when we get there. So the games on Stadia have YouTube integration and unique multiplayer features like state share and crowd play. These are interesting features. So one of the cool things that they talked about doing is that people can send links and click on a link and boom, you're in a game in seconds. No loading, no downloading, no nothing. Boom, you click on a link, boom, you're playing a game. And yeah, you had brought up, Corey, like that would be great for demos. Like if you could have, or maybe timed, like they give you 2 hours of a new game when it comes out. Boom, you click on a link to play the game, and boom, you get 2 hours of demo time for any game. I don't know how you feel about that, Corey.
Yeah, and I had jokingly said to you guys earlier today, actually, that I have a medical need for demos. And because of that, I'm going to sue From Software because I didn't get to try the game before I bought it, because I booted up last night at midnight and immediately got motion sick. Bad too, the headache, the sweats, the whole thing, the worst kind of it, as someone who suffers from motion sickness in cars and stuff like that. And then I thought it might have been a fluke, and it was late. I had an empty stomach, but then I tried again probably about 2 hours ago, and exact same issue right away. But I think we might talk a little bit more about Sekiro, so
Yeah.
I won't go into that too much. But yeah, like I just think that's a really good reason for people to want to play a demo, and people with like accessibility concerns too. They would want to see what it's like too, because that stuff's not ever really talked about in the marketing materials.
Not really. I mean, it's a little more talked about now because of Xbox's new controller that they have for accessibility.
Yeah.
So it's a little more prevalent now than it used to be. But you're right. It's definitely something that's inhibiting for a lot of people. And even some games, you just can't customize the way you'd like to use those accessibility features.
Like Sekiro, I mean, motion blur is one I would always turn off to help with motion sickness. The head bob, some of those games have that ridiculous head bob. Was it Dishonored had that?
Yeah, some
Maybe.
of the first person games have that. Yeah.
Ooh, my God, that does a number on me too. But yeah.
So supposedly it's going to work on, and this is big for me because I would love to be able to play games on my Chromebook. So I have a Chromebook that has the Google Play Store. So I put the Steam Link app on it, but it never works right I always get the double mouse. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, Corey.
No.
So I have it's the mouse for the operating system, and that's the mouse for my computer, which is down here. So it's always there. It's always like off too. So I've never been able to get it to work correctly on my Chromebook. So being able to play games on my Chromebook is great. So, but yeah, supposedly you'll be able to use all your own hardware, whether it's a Xbox controller, PlayStation controller, Nintendo Switch Pro controller, keyboard and mouse, what have you. But they did announce their own controller. It looks a lot like a Xbox One controller, especially the new Xbox One S controller. The difference is the close together thumbsticks, which I hate.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer offset thumbsticks, but
Yep.
the too far away thumbsticks are okay, but the too close together ones, like on the DualShock 4, I hate that. But
Yeah.
it still looks like a solid controller. You need to have the controller to be able to play on the Chromecast, because the Chromecast doesn't have any way to connect your controller to it, and this controller doesn't connect to the device. It connects to Wi-Fi. So there's that helps reduce input lag, because it's just sending controller signals right through the Wi-Fi and right into the game, rather than going through Bluetooth to your device and then going along with the stream. It's its own separate thing, which I thought was really interesting and a very clever way.
My first reaction was, oh my gosh, that's going to lead to more input lag. But now that you're explaining it, it makes more sense because
it's cutting out the Bluetooth middleman.
Yeah, and Bluetooth, I
great.
always have issues with Bluetooth.
Same here. I have the only Bluetooth thing that I use consistently is I have a Bluetooth mouse that I use sometimes with my Chromebook.
Yeah,
but that's it. Like I've never had luck with Bluetooth controllers. I've never had luck with any kind of Bluetooth headphones or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like if you're more than like 2 feet away from, then it's just hit or miss.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, one of the big things they really pumped up during the thing was input lag, because obviously input lag is a huge issue with games. So they really made a point to mention that Doom Eternal will be coming to Stadia, and apparently it plays great. So very little or no discernible input lag. It'll be running 60 frames per second, 4K resolution too when the thing comes out. So people with 4K TVs, you can game at 60 frames on a 4K TV without needing a monster machine.
Just make sure you don't have data caps.
That's part of people's issues. A lot of the internet, specifically in the United States, is not very good.
I think, not to interrupt your train of thought, Dan, but when I tried the Project Stream for the first time and was reading through all their literature about it, it said if you're able to get the highest quality video, which means your internet is the best, then you're going to be using about 9 gigs an hour. And that was just for Project Stream. That wasn't 4K. So I have no idea what.
I don't even think I got 60 frames with Assassin's Creed on my wired desktop.
Yeah.
I definitely got 30 on my Chromebook. But yeah, apparently they've improved it enough. They improved the transfer, however it works. They've improved enough that they can do 4K, 60 frames per second, but you have to have at least 30 megabyte download speed.
Wow.
So, I mean, we have well over that. I think ours is 100 down, 10 up, or 11 up, or whatever it comes out.
Yeah.
Comes out to be. So there was that. But apparently it's going to be able to scale too. So apparently 8K is on its way. They're going to be able to do 8K 60 frames at some point, and then 1080p and 4K at 120 frames eventually. So
Google Fiber required.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, Google Fiber is not doing all that well right now. So
it's funny because I had just Googled Google Fiber today to see. Wow.
Yeah.
Just realized how entrenched we are in the Google world. I Googled Google Fiber. I didn't even think about what I was saying when that came out. But yeah, you're right. It's not.
And I know up here we don't have any options for our internet. We have Spectrum, and that's pretty much it.
Unless you want DSL.
Yeah, DSL is our only other option, which is really slow. Some places have Verizon fiber, but not many, and not where we live. So, but
AT&T fiber is getting pretty big too.
Is it? Does it have data caps?
I don't know.
Because
I just looked at their service map though, and it's basically everywhere but the coasts, but the east and west
oh
coasts.
really?
Yeah.
It's weird. Especially not having the East Coast with how heavily populated the Northeast is specifically.
I was thinking about it, it's probably just easier logistically for them to do whatever they need to
Yeah,
set up the
that's true.
lines and
There's a lot of red tape in our state too, so.
yeah, there is.
So yeah, they emphasize couch co-op as being a big thing. That's possible because a lot of the reason why couch co-op has gone away is because of hardware limitations. But that's almost gone. Apparently, the standard Stadia instance, I guess, is going to be more powerful than the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro combined. So take that for what you will. Who knows?
Yeah, like I don't know what that means. Only because like I just assume they're running whatever their processing unit is, just like the best of the best of the best. Why wouldn't they? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Xbox One X, as powerful as it is, still doesn't compare to a monster computer.
Oh no.
So I think that's
close.
what they're taking into effect.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Any other details that I missed? Oh, they started a first-party studio, too. It's called. Oh, I didn't get into. Oh, so save state. I talked about the links. Share states are like when you have a moment in a game, and you want to capture that moment, you can share it easily through the internet. I think it's Google Assistant. You can use Google Assistant for all that stuff.
Okay, Google.
Yeah, well, yeah, and there's another cooler feature that I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, you could spread that on the internet and have people replay moments from your game. There's also crowd play. They used a game of NBA 2K19 to explain it. And so you're playing a game of NBA 2K. You have a Twitch, or not Twitch. I guess it wouldn't be Twitch. It would be YouTube Gaming, following, watching you playing, and you can open up the game for them to join you. So they'll just click a link, be able to join your game. If the game is full, they'll go into a wait list, and as soon as their time is up or their ability to go in the game is up, then they can pop into the game and play with their favorite streamers.
And that might be the most interesting thing about this whole Google Stadia thing. And we've seen some of those kind of games on Twitch already. What was the one game where your audience could vote on what would happen next in the game? Do you remember what game I'm talking about?
No, but there's a few of those games that have the audience interact with the player, like voting on having jump scares and like scary games.
Yeah,
that sort of stuff. Like there's been some integration of that type of thing, but not like this.
Mm-hmm.
At least not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, and that right there clearly appeals to a certain demographic, right? Like a very popular demographic. Because I feel like a lot of the feedback on Stadia is coming from hardcore gamers that are very skeptical, and they're like, "Why? I'll just keep my Xbox. I'll keep my ball and PC. Like I'm unsure about this." But I don't know. As someone who's been doing cloud gaming since OnLive like 10 years ago, I'm very excited for this, and I know that there is an audience for this. You're just not hearing from them because they probably don't even know about it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and like a lot of it too is people like not a lot of detail, at least not a lot of details. Stuff that I would be interested in was explained during it. And that's another. I saw a lot of those questions pop up too. Another cool feature that you can use, and they use Shadow of the Tomb Raider to talk about this. If you get stuck in a part, you can immediately pull up a YouTube walkthrough. It'll pop up on your thing. It'll show you the right place where you are right there. It's going to use that's the thing that's going to use the Google Assistant. So you ask the Google Assistant for help. It'll bring up a YouTube video, play that exact part you're going through. It'll scrub ahead or back or whatever in the video and find the right spot. You watch that and quickly progress.
I just had a thought while you were talking. I know I keep derailing your notes
fine.
there, but I was just thinking, how cool is it to have Google with this gaming platform and all the potential that could come out of it? One thing I've been asking for a long time is like ways to be playing a game that I love passively. Like on my phone, we talked about back in the day when we were big into Guild Wars, like being able to do crafting on my phone while I'm away.
Yeah.
And I just like had a random thought, like augmented reality, the way they could incorporate your games into like Google Glass while you're walking around town. I don't know. I just feel like there's so much potential there
Yeah.
because it's Google and they're so well connected.
Yeah. Yeah, they showed the interconnectivity of their servers and stuff, and they're literally everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, they started a first party studio. I got sidetracked from that point. Jade Raymond, who we all know, is going to be the head of the first party studio.
BioWare?
No, she was with. Well, she initially was with Ubisoft. She was big in the early Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, but she's known
she went
for.
to EA for a little while.
Gotcha. That's okay.
I don't remember which studio it was. I don't think they ever ended up coming out with anything. But she's heading the what's it called? Stadia Games and Entertainment is their first party development.
Cool.
Studio, so, the big thing for me, no set release date. Obviously, they said sometime this year. It'll be U.S., Canada, the UK, and parts of Europe are going to be there. So.
And it's this year, you just said?
This year, yep. Probably eventually just about anywhere you can get Google, I would assume. Pricing is one thing they didn't get into, and that's the big one for me.
Free, except we need your soul.
I mean, I would probably be willing to pay that price.
Have it.
If I could have any game I wanted. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be through the Google Play Store where you buy games there, or I don't know how any of that's going to work, and that's big for me. Ownership is a big thing, and we talk a lot about ownership, on this podcast, and how that's kind of going by the wayside. There is times where it's okay for me to not own things. We talked about the Xbox Game Pass being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine if I don't own all those games. A lot of them aren't games I was ever going to play anyway. More likely to try them. We don't know if they're going to do a subscription service where you have access to a certain amount of games, and then you have to buy other ones. So any number of ways it could go.
Yeah, just based on how things are trending, I think that is logical.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe there's a different kind of pricing model in there that nobody's thought of yet that would make more sense.
Yeah, and it's definitely something I would have to test out first. Like I said, if I could easily game on my Chromebook, that would be so good. Because I don't sit at my computer anymore. When I play video games, it's on the Switch usually.
Mm-hmm.
When the kids are occupied, or when my wife and I are watching something at night, or if she's watching something that I'm not particularly interested in, I'll play the Switch. That's how I game nowadays.
Yeah.
So,
who I thought did a really good job of rolling out a product is Microsoft's Game Pass, so that you get 14 free days when you buy the system, right?
I had 3 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had 14 days, or maybe I did have a month. I don't remember. Either way, I got a free trial with the system, and then after that, they offer it to you for a month for $1, which is like, okay, I'll put my credit card information just to get this, $1. And then the next offer is 3 months for $15, and then after that, it's full price.
Right.
And it absolutely worked. Like I took it hook, line, and sinker the whole way. It's just long enough to ease you into paying for it, and feel like you can't live without it.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
There's a lot of good games on there. There really is. And like you said, stuff that I might not necessarily buy. I got to try Crackdown 3 on that. I never would have even spent a minute on it. It's not a bad game. It's just not a good game either.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Google Stadia. I'm sure I've missed some details, but I got most of it. There's there's a lot of because it was the game developers conference. There's a lot of developer tools that they talked about, stuff that I was interested in, but it doesn't really apply to this podcast.
So just so I'm clear, this is its own platform, right? It's not like it's going to be like, oh, you can log into your Steam and play your Steam games, or I'm
hoping there is going to be some, because I have a huge Steam library. I'm hoping there's going to be some sort of integration. I would love it if they gave you, if you connected your Steam account to your Google account and they just automatically gave you all your Steam games. That would be amazing. I don't think they're going to do that, but that would draw me in immediately.
And I mean, that's kind of what GeForce Now there's a selection of Steam games, but
Yeah.
if you have them on Steam, you're literally logging into GeForce Now, and then they're virtually logging into your Steam account so that they can play those games from their systems.
Yeah.
And that works really well.
Yeah, they should do that because, like I said, I've got 470 games or whatever on Steam.
Yeah.
So that would be great if I could play all those. So yeah, that's Stadia. Any other thoughts on that, Corey?
No, I started to say, cloud gaming's come a really long way from OnLive, and OnLive holds a special place in my heart because that came out at a time where I literally had $10 of fun money every week, and that was it. I was on such a fixed, tight budget, and that was just enough for me to subscribe to enjoy a big selection of games. Did it run great? No. Like sometimes I couldn't even see what was on screen, but it was way ahead of its time. And it's good to kind of see this stuff coming into the mainstream with a little more polish.
Yeah. See one of the big players too taking it on, and hopefully, I don't necessarily think it'll be my main way of gaming. That seems to be the Switch nowadays, but to supplement.
Yeah.
And it may, if it's a good service, works well as they say it's going to. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention too is seamless transition from game between the different things. So they showed a guy, playing a thing on his Pixel Book, and then he picked up his phone and clicked on the thing and was immediately continued from there, and then the next device, and then onto the TV, like the Switch. You pick it up out of the dock and take it with you. That was pretty cool. So.
I think one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to just set up some sort of partnership with the major players to get their games on there, or it's just going to be its own genre of gaming.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which, but
Well,
I don't know. It's the right play for them because of what's going on with like YouTube TV,
Yeah.
YouTube gaming and stuff like that, and getting the streamers involved. And yeah, I think it's the right in for them. And I am curious what Amazon thinks of all of this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. At the very least, like you said, from that perspective. The thing that interests me is I'm to the point now where my computer is getting to be a bit long in the tooth. It doesn't run games as well as it used to. It's 8 years old now or whatever. And my graphics card's my most recent piece, and that's 4 years old at this point. It's definitely not in the cards for me to upgrade my computer right now, as much as I would love to, but I don't play it enough to even justify that.
Right.
So for me, like, if I can run games at top quality through the Google Stadia, I would love to do that,
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
That was another thought. Also, account stuff. They didn't talk about. One of the things that YouTube TV has an advantage over a lot of the other, because we have YouTube TV, is you can have up to 6 accounts on one thing, which is great because my kids like to have their own stuff. So I don't know how that's going to work with game sharing and all that stuff. That'll be interesting to see, because we're game sharing on Xbox and to a lesser extent Steam. Yep, Steam is another one. Yep. So yeah, there's that. Okay. So that's Google Stadia. We'll talk about the Nintendo Nindies Direct that was earlier this week. Was it Wednesday during the day, maybe, or Tuesday?
I don't think I know anything about this. So
okay, yeah, there's some pretty good announcements here. So they started off by announcing Cuphead is going to be available on the Switch. That's amazing. I loved Cuphead. I probably won't buy it again. Who knows? It's just so much easier to play stuff on the Switch. I might buy it again. It's coming April 18th, 2019. So it's a good platform for it. So is that Overland is coming in fall of 2019. I don't know if you know anything about that game, Corey.
No.
It's a survival strategy game. It reminded me a little bit of like XCOM, but with almost inside like art style. Isometric, little square, and it's apparently big on choices. It's worth checking out. It's a very, very interesting looking game. My friend Pedro is coming in June 2019. That's the Devolver Digital one that just came out. Looks really cool. Yeah.
I'm just so out of the loop. Like you're saying these games I have.
My friend Pedro looks awesome.
Okay.
I keep saying Pedro because Pedro Pony from Peppa Pig. It's hard. That's how they say Pedro in the
Yeah.
UK. So, um, oh, what am I gonna buy again? Jake said,
Cuphead.
oh, yeah, you're right. I probably will buy Cuphead again. Especially, like I said, I play the Switch. I put 50 hours into Valkyria Chronicles over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So Neocab is another one that's coming out. That's a really cool like adventure game, story-based adventure game. Kind of like you play a cab driver essentially, and you're going around this like almost Blade Runner like city with an overbearing police force, and you experience a story through that. That looks good. The Red Lantern is one that I'm very interested in. So it's a story-based game. I'm saying Life is Strange only because the voice actor that does it, Ashley Birch, is Chloe Price,
Yeah.
and that will always be Chloe for me. That will never change.
Yep.
So
Yep.
as soon as she started, she started talking, I was like, oh, that's Chloe. But it's a really interesting game. It's about someone who takes on the Iditarod,
Oh.
dog sled races, and it's like
Okay.
it looks like it's like a survival adventure story driven game. It looks really good. Very cool art style. So that's definitely one worth checking out.
Do you remember that movie Iron Will?
I remember the name. I don't remember. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Man, that was a good movie. About the Iditarod.
Yep. Darkwood looked interesting. I can't recall what that was like now. Katana Zero, April 18th. Rad is the new Double Fine game that's coming out in summer 2019. That looks really cool. That one it's like it looked a little bit like Bastion.
Okay.
It looked like it played like that a little bit, but you like mutate your own guy into all these different weird things.
Huh.
So that looked pretty cool. Creature in the Well coming out summer 2019. I don't remember that one. Blood Roots is coming out in summer 2019. Pine is coming out in August 2019. Super Crate Box, April 2019. Nuclear Throne was available when this thing came out. Ultra Bugs is 2019. Swim Sanity, summer 19. Blaster Master Zero is available now. Stranger Things 3, the video game, is coming out the same day as the season 3.
Oh my gosh.
Things. So there's that. And then Cadence of Hyrule is coming in spring of 19. So this is by Crypta the Necrodancer. But it's you play as Link and Zelda in it, which is very cool.
Huh.
Yeah. That looks very interesting. So some good stuff there. Definitely check out the Red Lantern, Corey, though. I think that's something you'll be very interested in. And again, it was voiced by Chloe.
I will definitely check it out. The Red Lantern.
Yeah. Any little bits, Corey?
I don't think so. No. There's no gaming news that I can think to talk about at the moment.
Yeah. How was your week?
Week's been good. We're house sitting for the girlfriend's dad. They're in Aruba, and they left us with their 2 dogs, which has been kind of nice because it's just nice to have a house.
Yeah.
Get out of our apartment that we're incredibly sick of at this point, but we're not quite ready to buy a house, only because we're not sure how long we want to stay around here, and just to go through that headache. And
it's a pain.
Yeah, and also like a lot of those first-time homebuyer programs require you to stay in your house a certain amount of time, or they'll take your money back. I don't know. It's kind of a icky situation, and I don't know. I just sucks.
Yeah.
I just wish I was rich.
Yeah, like I said, even though we just bought this house, our plan is 3 to 5 years, and we're out of here.
Skedaddle.
Out of this area.
Yeah.
We were lucky because our house it appraised for quite a bit over what we paid for it, so we're already pretty farther ahead than we thought. At that point. So.
Well, it's funny because Sophie used to never even entertain the idea of moving to anywhere but like a warm beach area, which I am absolutely not about. I hate the heat. Like, I do not function well in heat. I just get miserable and tired and slow and cranky. My mood is better in the cold. I don't love the cold, but like I'm more comfortable in it.
Yeah.
I'm a northerner, I guess. But just recently she's been saying how like, oh, like maybe we should look at Maine and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
I had considered
That's
the coast of Maine for a while.
yeah, like Portland, definitely.
No, once you have kids, you realize how much winter sucks. Because
Because you got to put their shit on every day.
anytime you want to leave the house, it's coats, it's socks, it's shoes, and you have to chase them around, and you can never find socks and coats and shoes because they don't put them where they're supposed to. It's a mess. So we want to move somewhere at least where sweatshirts are required in the winter. Maybe once in a while it gets really cold, but
Yeah.
like I said, we're thinking like North Carolina, Tennessee, but ideally Tennessee because we want to move close to Nashville since we're Predators fans.
Yeah, and I after visiting Eric in Charlottesville, like I could see Northern Virginia, something like that. That still has seasons and isn't unbearable in the summer, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I like longer cold seasons than just a short summer.
Right.
But I don't know. Oh, you know what? For my week, I'll give a shout out to my first friend. Well, first friend that I'm still friends with. Let's put it that way. Who had a baby today? So
Oh,
congrats
nice.
to Austin and Brittany.
Austin. All right.
Yeah, little Lorenzo
Cool.
was born today. So congrats to him.
Very cool. All right. For me, I don't think I have too much to share about. I know we haven't done rookie camp in a couple weeks. We are planning on doing it this Sunday. Every Sunday, like one of our kids gets sick and we can't do it. That's why we haven't done it in a couple weeks. So I'm hoping we're going to be in the clear at this point for Sunday to get back into this every Sunday.
What you got lined up?
She probably won't listen to this before, so we're going to do Skyrim. For
Oh,
this
she
Sunday.
doesn't know when you go in?
No, I never tell her.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that.
unless it's like a new game. She usually doesn't know. Like when Smash Brothers came out, that was, we played it that week, or a couple days later, I guess, from when the game actually came out. So
Yeah. Yeah, I love the rookie camp stuff. If any listeners haven't checked it out, definitely
yeah, it's fun.
check it out. It's really entertaining.
Yeah. She will play Souls, probably Dark Souls 2 at some point. I actually have a huge list of games for her to do. So
That's cool.
yeah. Other than that, I don't think I have anything to talk about. Because it was only a couple days. Well, we didn't do our weeks, but I never remember. If I don't write stuff down, I don't remember what I did.
I always try, like, back when I was doing this regularly, I always try and think, like, what is the most interesting thing I did this week? And if I don't have that thought, then I usually come up with nothing in the moment.
Yeah, that's how I am. And I also try to keep it because most of my days are spent cleaning,
Same.
making food.
Yeah.
So I don't need to relate any of that.
Yep.
So yeah, let's get into what we played. Corey, I know you mentioned last episode, episode 400, part 1, that you had played a lot of games recently. So
Yeah.
let's
I've
hear
been
about
all
it.
over the place. Just trying to find a groove. I wasn't able to really get into Anthem. Granted, I didn't give it its due, which sucks because you spend money on it and you wanna take it. You don't want to throw your money away like that.
At least
But
it was only $30 though.
right, and that's what, like, I would never pay full price for Anthem. I probably wouldn't. Well, I probably would pay full price for Sekiro just because
Yeah.
it's from software.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of games that we bought another one together, didn't we? Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have bought that if we weren't splitting it. It is a really nice. Can you call it a feature or loophole? I don't really know.
It's a feature. It's definitely a feature.
They talk about it and stuff.
Yeah. Excuse me. It's purposely supposed to be like that. The people get into abusing it though if you add too many accounts, so you can get banned.
Oh, okay.
You're only supposed to one other person.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay.
Yep. It's definitely a feature.
Yeah, it's a good feature. But anyway, yeah, I played a lot of really awesome games lately. Sunless Skies is one. I'll just list them off, and then if there's one that tickles your fancy, we can talk more about it. But Sunless Skies is one. I played Rhyme.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with Rhyme at all. Also been playing Slay the Spire again, which I had played when it was in early access, but now it's in full release. And then yesterday, when I was looking forward to Sekiro, I played Ashen for a lot of yesterday. I think I put like 5 hours in it or something like that. Because I did something I've never done before, and I worked a 3-day work week. So I was off on Monday, although I worked all day Monday. And then I worked Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I was off all day again Thursday. But I was hungover because we did the 400th episode.
Yep.
And I had already had 30 hours on my timesheet already, so I wasn't worried about hitting my weekly allotment of hours. So I just sat around and tried to figure out what to play for a really long time, and then settled into Ashen, which I actually really like.
Yeah, I want to hear about Ashen and Sunless Skies, definitely.
Yeah, so Ashen, if you're unfamiliar with, is it Xbox only?
I think for now, I think it's supposed to maybe... No, you know what? I think it's on PC.
Is it?
I can check.
Okay. I remember thinking that, like, oh, like this is the one good exclusive that Xbox has. Well, a while back when I first read about it, but that might not be true. I don't know. But it's Dark Souls light.
Yeah.
And it's not shy about being a Dark Souls game. I'm not sure who made it. I haven't gotten that far into my research. Again, like I'm so far out of the loop with this stuff because it's been about a year since I've followed gaming news or podcasts or anything. We're already there. We're already at a year away. But yeah, it's definitely the light version of a Souls game. The characters don't have faces. They just have like hair, facial hair and hair. Which is kind of nice because it's like you don't need to see their facial expressions anyway in a game like that.
Yeah, because you're behind your character for the most part, right?
Yeah, and it's a much shorter game. I think I've almost beaten it, unless it does that thing where it just opens up into a whole new game, kind of like the Shadows of Mordor game did to me that I wasn't expecting to happen when there was just like a whole other world, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay,
yeah,
that's cool. But yeah, it's the same in a lot of ways in that you're collecting souls. There's no leveling up that I've seen yet. It's just buying items and upgrading your equipment, which is kind of nice, but it's still enough customization that you can kind of go in your own direction. You pick up a bunch of weapons, and then you just pick which one you want. And then upgrade it from there. And if you decide you want a different one, then you just pick up a different one and upgrade it. And each weapon has a different set of abilities to it. Some are better at doing critical hits. Some are better at stunning your enemy. But even some of the special items are very like Dark Souls-ish. I don't know if other games have done this, but do you remember in the Dark Souls games, Dan? I don't know if any of your characters ever had it or if any of the enemies you had it, but the like orbs that fly over your head that shoot at people. Yeah, this game has that. So it's not shy about being a Souls ripoff. But it is really good. It's really addicting. It has a really good mood and atmosphere. There's one aspect of it that I really like is that you're leveling up a town, which is something that kept me hooked on Dragon Age Inquisition, because everything you do out in the world plays back into this town that you're building up, which is something the Souls games haven't done. Well, I guess maybe kind of. Dark Souls 3, right?
Yeah,
because you're like bringing those merchants back. Yeah, kind of like that. It's kind of like that, except you can actually see them building physical structures and the town growing and the village people populating and stuff like that. But I couldn't really explain any of the story that's going on. It's I don't want to call it convoluted, but I just don't really care.
Okay.
And I don't usually get like that, but sometimes I do. And it's not that it's poorly done. I think the writing is really well done, and I feel like there's a interesting story there. It's a little less cryptic than Dark Souls, which I appreciate because I have no idea what happened in the Dark Souls games, but that's not because I didn't care. It's because I just couldn't comprehend it.
Sure.
Which is common with me. Yeah. But I highly recommend it. There is a little bit of jank. Like I noticed people throwing spears at me, and it would just go through rocks and hit me, which is kind of frustrating in a game like that where you have to be really careful and try not to get hit.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely recommend it. And yeah, Idaho Jake points out in the chat that it's on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, give it a try. My first hour of it, I would have quit if I had something else to play, only because I thought it was way too hard. But once you kind of figure out the rhythm of everything, it's a little bit easier. Um,
It is currently only on Xbox. It's coming soon to PC. I don't know about PS4.
okay,
It was developed by A44. So,
that sounds familiar, but I don't know what they've done in the past.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, highly recommend Ashen.
I have it downloaded. It's on my
Yeah.
it's on my Xbox.
I'll probably go back to it at some point.
Nice.
It's also cool because I don't know if there's online multiplayer with other people, but they have characters that show up and help you as if they were a player character.
Okay.
Even though they're non-player characters. The way they just kind of seamlessly show up and then start following you around and helping you, it feels like a random player online.
Nice.
And Beardless says it's on the Epic Store.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Ashen. Sunless Skies. I was interested in this only because I played a little Sunless Sea and absolutely fell in love with it, but just could not get anywhere. It was way too hard. And one of the selling points for me for Sunless Skies, the follow-up, is that it was more accessible to beginners, which is very true. If you don't know what the Sunless games are, they are a very atmospheric, well-written, polished, would you call them strategy games?
Yeah, I think so.
I think there's like a subgenre for them, like I forget the name of it, but you're essentially picking up resources in one port and selling them in another port for profit. So the setup for this game is you start off in this city called New Winchester. You choose your backstory, and I chose my backstory as an old sailor from the Sunless Z, which is the Sunless Sea. They use Z's in Sunless Seas instead of S's most of the time. So that was my character's legacy, and you choose your ambition. So for my character, I chose my ambition was wealth. So then it customizes the game towards a wealth goal for me. So at least in the first sort of sector, and I haven't quite figured out if it just takes place in the sky or if I'm in outer space. It doesn't really make sense, but it's sort of like if the what's the word I'm looking for? Like industrial era.
Like steampunk?
It's not quite steampunk. It's more like dirty 1800s London, which I guess you could call steampunk, but I don't know. I guess it's more British than Japanese.
I was gonna
steampunk.
Say steampunk is more. That's more like science fiction.
Yeah,
science fiction-y too.
It's less that. It's more just like like it's like what
Fable
BioShock did,
Oh.
except for like that period of England.
Gotcha.
Fallen London setting, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's based on pen and paper RPG, the whole universe. I don't really understand how all that works. I'm not going to pretend to.
Beardless says you are in space, too. So.
You're in space. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really feel like it because you're like riding around and there's people's homesteads just like sitting on these islands. And it's like, well, that's kind of weird. I don't know. It's
like
a lot of it doesn't make a lot of it doesn't make sense metaphysically, but it doesn't really matter because you're so taken over by the style of the game and just the creativity that goes into it. Like one of the resources you transport are called hours, like time. You're transporting time essentially. There are places that need time. It's just stuff like that it's kind of out there, but it's pretty cool when it all comes together. I haven't been able to leave the first area, but that first area has given me like 10 hours worth of gameplay easily, and there's a lot more to do. There's quests. It's not just delivering resources, and the quests are things like, pick up a passenger here and escort them there. And it can be really dangerous getting from to and fro because you're also like a Banner Saga style game. You're managing resources so that you can stay alive. It's only fuel and supplies, but they can go really quick. And if you have a mishap, they go even quicker. And one of my favorite anecdotes about the game is that I was trying to get back to the main city of New Winchester in this area. And I was really far out. And I only had a very tiny bit of health. and I would keep trying to get to New Winchester, and I'd keep getting attacked, and one shot would kill me, and I'd have to reset back at the port that I was in. I think it was called Port Prosper. And I finally figured out the path to go to get back to New Winchester where I wouldn't get attacked. And so I did it. And the first time I finally got to New Winchester, I was just pulling into the dock, and I just bumped the side of it enough to wreck my whole hull. And I destroyed my ship, and I had to go all the way back. But the worst part about it is that I made it back again and did the exact same thing again, which I would have just thrown up my hands and quit. But I like Sunless Seas enough that I want to see it through. So I'm committed to it, even though it can be a little frustrating at times. But it is much, much easier than Sunless Sea. And I also like that if you die, you can send some of your items, I guess it depends on how you die, to a new captain to carry on your legacy. So there's a little bit of consistency there. But cool. It's just super fascinating game. Like there's this one port that I go to that they only accept me if I bring them gossip. So I have to collect gossip from around these places and bring it to them, so they'll allow me to hang out in their town and complete my quests and stuff like that. It's really cool. Okay. What was the other one? Rime. I don't have much to say about Rime, only because I only played it for like an hour. But for a atmospheric walking, you can't really call it a walking simulator. That's not fair. There is some puzzle elements, but there's like a trend in these games that I'm playing. They're all very highly stylized, but
it's nice to have something nice to look at like that, though.
Yeah, and I feel like that's all that's getting me through games anymore.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be great graphics. It just has to have a consistent and really good art style. I don't need photorealistic, although like Red Dead Redemption, that was the appeal.
Yeah.
But all these other games, I mean, they're not photorealistic, but they're just dripping with style.
Yeah.
And that's just been something that's really working for me lately. Was there one other one?
Yeah, you did say
Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire. I was gonna say the one that's coming to Switch soon.
Yeah. So I should also say
that's where I will play it. When it comes out on the Switch, I will play it on that, definitely.
It's perfect for it.
Yeah.
But I should also add that all of these games I'm talking about are very well reviewed. That's sort of just how I consume games now, is I don't really have time to figure it out on my own. I kind of just look at the review scores and go from there. So Slay the Spire is actually on Open Critics Hall of Fame. I think it's 2019 Hall of Fame for second highest rated game of the year so far, which is really impressive. It has like a 96 or something like that. It's so good and so addictive. If you like card battlers, but it's single player, so you don't have to deal with people who have studied the meta religiously and are going to whoop you and spam emotes at you the whole time, which is nice. But the way it works is it's dungeon runs, and there's levels. There's 3 acts with a bunch of levels within those acts, and you're basically just moving from node to node, and each node is something different. There's mini bot battles, which is just like your everyday battle. There's a merchant where you can buy new cards for your deck. Your deck is basically your set of abilities. You can buy relics that give you special abilities. And then there are mini boss battles, which give you much better rewards than the normal battles. And then at the end, there's epic boss battles. So by the time you get to the end of an act, you have to do this really tough fight. There's also that's like the basic mode. There's also in online mode, or not online mode, a daily mode. I forget what they call it. Daily challenge. And it does some weird things with your character. Like I did one, I used the stealth character, and in that one, they give you, what was it? It gave you a relic after every node. So by the end of the game, you just had like 50 different relics and you're super overpowered. And I think it was meant to be like a speed run, but I never figured out what my time was or anything like that. I haven't really figured that part of it out. But I'm just so addicted to that game, and I recommended it to all of you guys. Yeah. I think all of you guys would like it. I think it's a very good game, and I would be hard pressed to find a type of person that I think wouldn't like it. But it's all strategic, because you're picking cards to build your deck as you go, but you want to pick something that fits into the deck that you already have. So
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I'm gonna see if I can find a Switch release date. Hopefully the Spire Switch.
I have been playing it on my laptop in tablet mode because I have the 2-in-1s.
Oh yeah,
which is super convenient. Just slide the cards around. It's a really fun game. I kind of wish there was a little more to it though, like a little more consistent, or I guess that's not the right word, but growth between run-throughs.
people are saying March, so it could be any time now.
Nice.
I guess.
Wonder what the price point will be.
I don't know. What is it? What did it cost on Steam?
I think when I bought it in early access, it was only $15.
Oh.
I don't know what it is now.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And I only bought it in early access. And I think this is the only time I've done this, but because I was watching a Twitch video of somebody playing it, and I was like, oh, that looks like something I might enjoy.
Nice.
So I bought it, and I really, really like it. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's another good one.
Do you want to talk about Sekiro?
Yeah.
Sekiro?
Sekiro.
Yeah, because I played maybe about 2 hours this morning. I know you played a little bit. So we're going to have an episode. It probably won't be next week, but maybe the week after. I do want to do a full episode on it, give you the full rundown. But go ahead and share your thoughts on Sekiro first, Corey.
So I mentioned already, I kind of had a rough outing last night when I tried to play it. I didn't immediately get sick, but maybe within like 5 minutes, I got sick, which was kind of a bummer because there's nothing you can do in that situation. You can try to power through it, but in my experience,
It makes it worse.
You just get worse to the point where you are sick for the whole day, which has happened before. So it was a really bad first experience. I played a little bit more today, but today when I booted it up, it was immediate. As soon as I got my character in game, I just looked at the screen. I was like, holy crap. I don't know what's going on, but something there is really bothering me. I did turn the camera sensitivity all the way down, so that helped a little bit. But I read this tip online that you basically just need to train your brain to not be bothered by it. And the way you do that is by playing until you feel a little bit bothered by it, and then just getting up and walking around until that subsides, and then sitting down and doing it over and over and over again. So I did that about 4 times before I kind of was okay with playing, which is good. Maybe it's fixed. I don't know. And so I probably played another hour today. If you weren't playing it, if you were just looking at it, like looking at stills of it, it looks like a Souls game for sure.
Definitely.
But it's so different.
It's very different.
Some of the character animations and stuff like that all looks like it came from Dark Souls, Bloodborne.
Yeah.
But the gameplay itself is massively different. It's very vertical. Your mobility is massively increased. Like there's a grappling hook. Could you imagine there being a grappling hook in Dark Souls?
Yeah. Yeah, the verticality of it definitely is what, at least at this point early in the game, is what separates it from the other Souls games for me. But also, I feel like you have to hang in there in the fights a little bit more, because a lot of the way you do your damage, you have to break the characters you're fighting. You have to break their posture.
Yeah.
So you have to hang in there for battles. You can't back, circle around and then get your hits in that way. You have to stand in the fight and be involved in the fight. It's a little more actiony that way.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, Dan, I never hit anybody in Dark Souls. I just try to find the jank so they'd fall off a ledge or something.
That works too. Yeah, there was always that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or bringing someone in to help you.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I never killed a boss on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't really. Maybe you could do a better job of describing the setup, but it seems like you're trying to save your old master.
Yeah. So it's apparently you're a defender of some royal bloodline, and that person gets kidnapped, and you're going out to save them. That's what I've gathered so far. I was having audio issues with my Xbox actually this morning because I wasn't playing on the TV. We have a all-in-one computer that's upstairs that I ran an HDMI cable to, and I wasn't getting any audio, so I missed that first part. Finally, I figured out, because I wasn't getting any audio with the controller headphone jack either, and finally figured out I had changed the mixer settings so that it was all vocals and no No game audio coming through the controller. So after like an hour of tinkering with that, I finally fixed it, and I had already gotten a little bit into the game, but that's what I gather is happening with the story. So.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's I don't have much more to say. I don't. What were your thoughts?
I loved it. I think it's fantastic so far. I like that. I feel like there's a little more strategy involved with it too, because there is some stealth elements in it. So when you're surveying where you have to go, not only are you surveying like what the enemies are and where you're going to attack from and stuff, but there's height, so you can get a better view of things that are around. There's, like I said, there's stealth, so you can sneak up on stuff and kill it without having to actually fight it.
Yeah.
So you're also looking for that sort of stuff too. It's pretty difficult so far. I've heard people say it's easier than Dark Souls. I've heard people say it's harder. I don't know yet.
Probably depends on your play style.
Probably depends on your play style. I agree. It doesn't seem like there's a way to summon help in this one like there is the other games. So I think you're all on your own for this one. So maybe that's why people thought it was harder.
I also read that there's no way to get your stuff back when you die. Well, there may be, but it's not.
Right.
Early on, anyway.
Yeah. You die and you lose money and you lose some of your experience.
Half.
So yeah.
You lose half of your progress towards the next level.
Yep.
But they also give you a resurrect. But I guess
one resurrect.
You can't, and if you use that too often, you. What did I did something I don't like to do, and that's I looked up tips.
Tips, yeah, or beginner tips, yeah.
Beginner tips, and it said something along the lines of if you use it too much, you can change the way non-player characters interact with you.
Oh, really? I didn't.
You get like a sickness or something.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that, but. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so far I really dig it, and I can't wait to go play it some more.
Yeah, it's speaking of games with style, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is. Yeah, think Dark Souls, but ancient, magical, feudal Japan.
Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah. Well, Dynasty Warriors, that's China, but.
Yeah, but for us Westerners, it's all the same.
I guess.
It's not really that. No. I shouldn't have said that, but no, they're definitely different. But I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. It makes me interested in that PlayStation game that's coming out. That's also kind of set in the same kind of time period. Whose name? Ghosts of Tsushima. Ghosts of Tsushima.
That's right. I forgot about that game. Who's doing that?
It's one of the Sony first party developers, I think. But I don't have any way of playing that, but it makes me want to play that. But yeah, I really like it. As I said, we'll have an episode on it, and not next week, but maybe the week after, once we get some more time with it.
I'm excited to hear Will's thoughts too, because he's been very anti-Souls games, so and he seems interested in this, so I hope he plays it and enjoys it.
Yeah, because I mean, like you said, it's definitely more actiony too. It's faster than the other Souls games, so we'll see. So I played that. I also beat Starlink today.
Oh, hey!
Thank you. So got another Switch game beaten. I enjoyed Starlink. There was some really annoying platforming parts that just did not fit in the rest of the game, and they're frustrating because you're platforming with a spaceship and it just doesn't work.
Wow.
So that was frustrating. Luckily, there was only 2, maybe 3 of those, but they were obnoxious and didn't seem like they fit. But it's interesting the way that game takes elements from other games. And I don't think I would have liked it I wouldn't have liked it as much if I wasn't playing as Star Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And, with Peppy and Slippy and Falco, as your wingmates. It's definitely better on the Nintendo Switch with those characters. I also got to the point where I didn't want to do liberate all the forts and get all the mining camps. I kind of breezed through the end of the game just to finish. I still have a couple quests I've got to finish. I've got to finish the Star Fox storyline, but I'll do that at some point. But yeah, I mean, I like the game. It incorporates the ending feels a little bit Mass Effect type of. I would say Mass Effect 2. It's a little bit like that, with the way the story works and stuff. So. But it's interesting. It was $20. I bought it for like $24. It was definitely worth that. I got some cool collectibles. My son just started playing it the other day too, and he really likes it so far. So plays really well on the Switch. It looks a lot better in docked mode than it does handheld. It runs smoother and stuff. So, but I don't seem to mind bad frame rates as much on the little Switch screen as I do on a big screen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was good. And I think that's all I have for what I played. So, I'm not sure what my next Switch game is going to be quite yet. I'm thinking about buying Gris.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while.
Yeah. But I've also got a few games I've got to finish too, so I might do that instead.
What about it? Have you heard anything about my time at Porsche?
I am slightly familiar with it.
It's supposed to be pretty good. It's
I
like a farming sim.
Yeah. I mean, I have like my Switch wish list is like 30 games, so it's nothing like my Steam one, but I'm more likely to buy them on the Switch.
That's another, just briefly, another game that I played on the Switch. Eric recommended it to me because I love puzzle games. Is Baba and You.
Oh yeah.
Pretty clever puzzle mechanic. It's like one screen puzzle, and you gotta get the flag. You gotta touch the flag is usually the goal, but the goal changes because you're taking. It's like basic programming almost. It's like you're taking your avatar moves around boxes to change the rules of the level. Okay. So there'll be a box that says Baba, and then another box that says Is, and then another box that says You. And then if you push the Baba box out of the way, you die because then nothing is you. You're dead.
Oh, okay.
But if you push the Baba box and replace it with a flag, and it says flag is you, then you become the flag. And then there's other things like there's things like what's another one? Wall is stop, and then you could push the wall out of the way, so then walls won't stop you anymore. Replace it with something else. You see what I'm saying? There's just so many different combinations of things that you can do.
That's awesome.
To achieve the goal. It is a really clever idea. Only given that about a half an hour, but really like what I played so far there.
Nice. Okay.
It is nice because I feel like because of my not participating in the podcast, I'm only playing things that I'm really interested in and continue to play only the things I really like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what afforded me 6 months worth of Red Dead. I never would have done that before.
That's what I've got to get back to. It's just playing on the Xbox is it's not easy. So
right, it's nice.
It's got to have. You can stream it to computers now, so I've got to get that actually set up. Maybe with the
I want to try that out. That would be cool. It's all done through Windows 10. Is it like the Xbox app or something?
Yep.
Okay.
I still have yet to try that out. So. All right. Let's get feedback called up. And once again, apologies we didn't get to this on the big episode we had a few days ago.
You can blame me.
Well, I don't think any of us wanted to keep going.
I was just the one that spoke.
Tired and drunk. Okay, so the first is from Tate, who says, "Hey dudes, hope you're all doing well this week. In the middle of writing a 10-page research paper for my master's, so I'm keeping this brief. My top 10 games. Let's see. Okay, so I think I'll start at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10, Stardew Valley. Number 9, Mass Effect. Number 8, Monster Hunter World. Number 7, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. 6, Mass Effect 2. 5, Skyrim. 4, Halo 3. 3, Halo Combat Evolved. 2, Witcher 3 with DLC. And 1, NCAA 14. And they list the games he wants from last week and then a few weeks ago. So I will send those out while this episode's compressing. So
it's a good list. That NBA 2K14 kind of throws you off, though.
Oh, NCAA 14.
NCAA, I'm sorry.
Football.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm sure there's a really good reason for it, but I'd be curious to know what it is.
Well, I know I think he said a couple of weeks ago in a feedback, that's just the game he goes back to all the time. If he doesn't have anything he wants to play or doesn't want to, sink time into something new, like that's the game he'll go back and play. So
a sports game from 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not judging. I find it humorous because I do weird stuff like that too. But
yeah. Well, I mean, because people still play like the Tecmo Super Bowl with updated
yeah,
rosters.
yeah,
I love that. That's fantastic. It's because those games are so good. Like the
yeah,
sports games nowadays don't compare to those. NFL
no,
2K5, was it? Yeah, it was ESPN NFL 2K5. That's the
hmm
best football game I've played in a very long time.
yeah.
So, from I know Jake says, "Hey guys, again, congrats on 400. Raise a beer for another 400." My first episode was Skyrim, and I haven't looked back. But my favorite episodes are you guys talking about shitting yourselves, and I can't wait for Will to hit his 30s and talk about his first adult shit my pants story on the show. I've been playing Breath of the Wild. So far, I'm enjoying it, but I only have about 2 hours in it. The only thing I don't like is I can't repair a weapon with a weapon like in Fallout 3. Some crazy news. My oldest is training for Poland in 2 weeks with the army, so I get to get international call and text on his phone. He's not even 20 and is seeing the world because he flew into Berlin, Germany, and then drove to Poland. Well, that's it for me, so have a great night.
I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, thanks for being such a loyal listener for so long. That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Skyrim was episode like 14.
13? Yeah, something like that. That is really awesome. And I mean, he's always been good about feedback and everything.
Absolutely.
So it's really been a pleasure to have you as part of our little community.
Yep.
And it's funny to hear about his kid like being 20 or whatever, because I remember when he was making fun of him, like in our, not making fun of him, but having a laugh at teenagers' expense.
Yep.
That's really funny. But oh shoot, I had a game related thought there too.
Breath of the Wild.
I don't remember.
Shitting your pants stories.
Yes, that's what it was. So is that like a thing when you hit 30 in your 30s is when you shit your pants as an adult?
It's more likely to happen at that point. Don't you remember our former coworker saying once you hit 30, never to trust a fart?
Never trust a fart.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was that age set in there.
I don't know who set the cutoff, because I've always kind of been wary of farts.
Yeah.
But it's weird, like when you get to be older, you have no idea that it's not that you're, full of poop, and
so I mean out. This is apropos because it was just last week that I actually shit my pants as a grown man. I was sick, so I have a kind of an excuse.
Yeah,
that just tickled me when he said like, "Oh, when you're 30, you shit your pants like an adult." But no, I was actually on my way to the bathroom, and I trusted a fart that I should not have trusted.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that.
Uh-huh. Oh man!
Can't believe I just broadcasted that, but whatever. I don't care.
It happens to us all. And that's cool about your son.
Congrats.
We have family that's from Poland, so that's the old country for us. So that's very cool. So the next is from Tito. Tito's top 10 list. Number 10, Psychonauts. Number 9, ESPN NFL 2K5. Down from number 8, he said. Number 8, Red Dead Redemption 2, which replaced Rival Schools at number 9 from last time. Number 7, Inside. Number 6, Bioshock. Number 5, Horizon Zero Dawn. Number 4, Final Fantasy 7. Number 3, The Last of Us. Number 2, Shadow of the Colossus. And number 1, Rocket League.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Only one change. Red Dead Redemption 2 replaces Rival Schools, and ESPN NFL 2K5 goes down to number 9. I recommend everyone check out the Google Stadia presentation. Pretty cool stuff down the road for gaming industry. Stuff that could make Ready Player One a reality in terms of large numbers of players and the thousands playing together, and 8K gaming at high frame rates.
Nice. What was the one game, Tito? My brain, I'm sorry. Like, after not doing this podcast, I just feel like I can't put together a coherent thought. He had a game on there that I wanted to talk about on his list. Horizon Zero Dawn. Uh-huh. That game is one of those games that just keeps popping up in my head, and I want to go back and play it again and beat it. I just adore that game, and I just never got a chance to see it through.
Yeah.
Did that win Game of the Year it came out?
No. No, that came out. It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I
What'd we
don't know.
pick?
I don't remember. I picked.
Final Fantasy.
I picked Breath of the Wild that year.
Hmm. Final Fantasy 15.
It was probably Final Fantasy 15.
I think that's what won.
Yeah. 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 I'm definitely interested in the Google Stadia stuff. I really hope it works out because that would make me not have to spend money on a new computer, which I don't want to do. So. Jake has feedback too, but I'll read one. We got one on Twitter. Someone sent us a top 10 list on Twitter that I'll
Nice.
call up first.
I like people's top 10 lists.
I do too.
I feel I'm like psychoanalyzing them based on their lists. Like,
what sort of games do they like?
Yeah.
All right, so this is from at MattPlaysOW on Twitter. So his games are number 10, The Last of Us. Number 9, Pikmin. Number 8, Spelunky. Number 7, Horizon Zero Dawn. 6, Super Smash Bros. Melee. 5, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. 4, Gears of War 3. 3, Overwatch. 2, Gears of War 2. Number 1, Super Mario Sunshine.
Sunshine pick, huh?
Yeah, I actually tweeted him. I was like, I love the Super Mario Sunshine as number 1. That's
number
awesome.
1, yeah. Who do we know this person? Are they a normal listener? Regular listener, I should say.
I don't
or
know.
Are we unsure? We're unsure.
Unsure. OW stands for Overwatch. I don't know if it's someone like, because some people I don't know what their Twitch handles are, and their
Right.
There's a few that regularly chime in that I know. So
I was gonna say this person is probably a very happy person to have Mario Sunshine as their favorite game of all time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a very happy game.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, MattPlaysOW on Twitter. Next is from Idaho Jake, who says, "Hey guys, I forgot in my last email I bought 2 more Joy-Cons and Mario Party, and it was a great game to play with my kids. I also bought Final Fantasy 15 Royal Pack for $15. Includes the game and all the DLC."
Score.
So, yeah, you got to have that extra set of Joy-Cons if you have kids. Because I also have an extra set of Joy-Cons, and my son's Switch came with, obviously, Joy-Cons too, so we have 3 full sets of Joy-Cons.
How much are they to buy separately?
I think I got them on sale for like $68. They're normally $80, but if you find a deal, like I said, I got them for $68, I think. So, Jake says he needs more time for his top 10. I understand. It's really hard to compile. All the games you played, and like you feel bad about leaving some of them out or removing some of them from your list.
Yeah. I used to really stress over these lists, but it got to the point where you just sort of realize that they can really change depending on your mood day to day.
Yep, absolutely.
So you just kind of got to go with what you're feeling in the moment. And
yeah, I mean, generally I would say like my top 5 is pretty rock solid, and then all the others it depends on.
Yep.
Like you said, what kind of mood you're in. So, all right, I will do the game giveaway. See here. Fun times.
We got to refresh the games library. There's still good games in there.
There is still plenty of good games in there, yeah.
But I don't know.
I've got to trim it down because I haven't been filling in blank spots. But I haven't been buying games like I used to. Because I haven't been playing computer games like I used to. So, where's my random number generator? Okay, here it is. All right, so we had Tate, Jake, Tito, and Matt plays OW. So we have 4. From 1 to 4. And the winner is 1, which is Tate. Taterade, winner again. Winner, chicken dinner. So number 1 do 150. Let's see here.
Dan, what do you style your hair with?
I don't know. My wife bought stuff. It's like It's like a
Paste?
paste that you put in your hands,
Yeah.
and then I just do like one of these.
Is it like a shaping cream?
Yeah, I think so.
Looks good.
Sometimes I don't need to do that. Like it kind of stands up on its own anyway.
You're
But
lucky.
the way it cuts, like if it flops over to the side, I look scraggly.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it is a little scraggly because I cut it myself too. So
It's a good sharp look for you.
thanks. So the first one is SteamWorld Heist. That's a really good pick right there.
Love that game.
112 is Risk of Rain, which he already picked. So I'll re-roll that one because he's already getting that. It's 37 is Slime Sand.
I played that. Oh, I played Slime Rancher.
I've been meaning to play Slime Rancher. 38 is the next one. Is Tumblestone.
That is.
I don't know.
I think I played that. Nope, I'm thinking of a different game.
142 is
Almost sounds familiar.
Broken Sword Director's Cut.
Oh.
And then the last one is 5, which is The Secret World. No, I'm going to re-roll that one. That game is, I think, closed. 129. Joe
Then
Danger
Humble
2, the movie.
Oh, that's a good one too. I was gonna say Humble better reimburse me then, if I still have a game code for a game that's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, it might be free to play too.
Who knows?
The Secret World.
Tumblestone, Xbox One puzzle video game, but it's
So
also on PC.
your choices are SteamWorld Heist. That would be my pick probably. Slime Sand, Tumblestone, Broken Sword Director's Cut, and Joe Danger 2, the movie. So
Yeah,
let us know what you want.
speaking of games that were really well reviewed, SteamWorld Heist I think was in the 90s on Metacritic, OpenCritic.
I have that on computer, but again, it's hard to play stuff on computer. It's on the Switch, but I just haven't bought it again yet.
Yep.
So, yeah. Hey, obviously, Chill. Unfortunately, you joined us right before we're ready to end the episode this week.
Right? Is sign off is about to happen. Hey, before we do that, Dan, Division 2? Are you getting any more interested in that? Or
Yes
no?
and no. Again, it's something I have to play on the computer,
Yeah.
which is difficult at this point. I'm interested in it because from what I gather, it's the best like looter shooter that's come out
Yeah.
since like Borderlands.
That's what I'm hearing too.
So, yeah, I'll probably get it in like the summer.
Right.
It
Okay.
won't be now, but I probably will get it in the summer because
I'm just not going to get it if I don't have anybody to play with, you know?
the problem too is like I would want to get it on PC. Everyone else would play on Xbox because I'm pretty sure Will is interested in getting it.
That's true.
So that would probably be your route to go. I won't be able to play it on Xbox. I just don't have fun playing shooters with a controller. It just sucks for me.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I would talk to them first and see because I'm sure Eric would play it too if him and Will split it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I am
Okay.
interested in that. Next week, I'm not sure what we're gonna do as far as an episode goes. We do have a Sekiro episode in the works for probably the week after next week, maybe 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now, I guess. And then I don't know what April looks like as far as game releases. I'm gonna have to get Yoshi's Crafted World, which comes out at the end of this month. I don't know if we'll do an episode on that or not, but yeah. Either way, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure what
In
the
the
game
hopper.
releases look like in April. We'll have an episode for you probably Thursday, but maybe Wednesday. I'll keep people posted on our social media on if we're going to change the day or not. It all depends on Will's new schedule. So I also plan on hopefully streaming more. I wanted to wait till episode 400 before I start my next video series that I hope to start pretty soon. What do you got, Corey?
For coming out,
Yeah.
Rage 2 comes out May 14th.
That's one I want to get, but it's not coming to Steam.
No. PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Yep.
Oh, that's the thought I had. I think all this stuff going on with Epic, the Epic Game Store,
Yeah.
I think it's collusion. I really do.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Who's colluding with who?
Publishers. to take down Steam,
Oh,
or
really?
at least create a competitive market.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, because they're all kind of doing it at once, you know, like now's our chance. We're in this together. I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, interesting.
And I think the well, maybe not. I think now I'm just making things up, but it's just a hunch that I have that there's a lot of collusion going on.
It could very well be because I
Yeah.
know a lot of developers or publishers or whatever weren't happy with the amount of money Steam takes from every sale. So I mean, I'm all for competition, but like I'm not gonna buy games on the Epic Games Store. So I'm gonna wait till it comes out on Steam, or you know what? If Google Stadia ends up being a good service, I might get it there. I just like to have my stuff in one spot.
Right?
Beardless says the Division 2 really feels like a summer game. Play it wearing some shorts and a tank top, maybe even some shitty sunglasses if you want to get wild. So there you go. Like if we play it, it'll probably be in the summer.
I've been known to play video games with sunglasses on before.
Yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't. What game was it that they recently announced was only going to the Epic Games Store?
I can't remember, but yeah, that
It
was
was a
what
game I
triggered
was
my thought.
interested in, and now I
And
don't
there was
recall what it was.
the one that they were adding Steam achievements to, like a few hours before they announced it would be on Epic. It was moving to Epic only.
Metro.
No, I don't think it was Metro. Maybe.
I mean, Metro was the one they did pre-sales and stuff on Steam, and those that got the pre-sale could keep it and still play it on Steam. But any new, like I couldn't buy it on Steam. At least Outer Worlds. Thank you, Beerus.
Yep.
That's the one because that's a game I'm really interested in. Of course, I either have to, unless you know what, Microsoft they've been talking about adding keyboard and mouse support to the Xbox. If they do that, I'm okay with buying those games on Xbox. But they haven't made too good on that promise so far. So
Hmm.
we shall see. But yeah, that's all I got. Anything else, Corey?
No.
All right, that'll do it for part 2 of episode 400 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
Corey.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement.